Hey, it's me. It's these two. It's this map. It's water. Which actually is not game 1 of this series. It's game 2, which is Descara's pick, but we don't have game 1 for some reason. Apparently there's a bit of a mistake sending the replays in, so... this is my fault for taking so long to cast this game. I hope that this one is still floating around there, the game 1 from this, but we'll just have to see. But for now we can enjoy game 2, can't we? It's gonna be RoBeY, who we just saw in the last video, versus Descara. And yeah, he's definitely having a hard time going against, you know, like, the 2 best players in the game right off the bat. But, you know, it's a hard knock life, isn't it? And these are also the 2 players, mind you, who should be the most experienced with the mod, because they've been playtesting it, like, a lot. So, if I had to surmise who is probably the favorite for this game, I'd say Descara, and it seems he's thinking the same because he's playing as Galzian here. Tends to do that if he wants to kind of mix things up, but if he really wants to win, he'll play... if he really wants to win, he'll play Coalition, so he's feeling confident. I can say that already. Gonna be really quick refiner mode with that base burn retirement from him. We will see what RoBeY's play is. Moving out here though already with the base burner and the probe, it's pretty standard. Starting to fill up that next base. Oh, Descara not even rotating his carrier at all. It's lazy. Lazy. How do you say lazy in Swedish? Is it foul? That's how you say it in German. It's foul. It really is though, that's the word for it. I'm sure No Fun can verify for me. AV fabrication coming out of RoBeY now. I almost just said Descara because that's what we expect to see from him. Refinery mode finishing right now as he moves his production cruiser away from the base, but I think he's doing that just for the sole purpose of chasing down that probe. And he is going to get it. Yeah, and actually that's completely fine now that I think about it, because these guys, like, this guy's still mining. The loss in CUs for Descara is going to be, like, minuscule, whereas for RoBeY it's going to be, you know, 100, so... and denied scouting too, right? So I think that was definitely worth it. It's cool to see little stuff like that, you know, and obviously, you know, we're never really going to see DOK being played on, like, the stage of a big tournament or something, but if we did, I would just love to see all these, like, little plays that people made to get, like, just even the smallest advantage over their opponent, because that kind of stuff becomes so much more relevant when you're on the big stage, you know what I mean? That would be sick, but shouldn't dwell on what we can't have. Soul chip fabrication coming out now for Descara. Off of 1 PC. This is not really very standard. Second one's coming out just now. But I mean, this is obviously not going to be a rush, right? So I'm curious to see what Descara is planning here. Haven't seen... Well, I mean, we haven't seen much of the mod at all, really. It's pretty new, but we haven't seen him do this before, I don't think. Then again, it has been a while since I cast the last one of these, so... But no, I don't think he's done this before. I tend to kind of favor not going down the soul chip line just because it's tricky for me to get very good value out of those air units, but I'm sure he's not going to have that problem, and it is going to be interceptor fabrication. That's kind of what we would expect. RoBeY going for a second sport cruiser, or for sport cruiser actually. Yeah, okay, so he's going to be pretty behind in eco, isn't he? That's coming out just now. As I pause to have a sip on my drink. This Sandskim right here doing his very best. Dude, I'll tell you a secret, buddy. Pop the tires, and then it can't drive. Yeah, wow. But he'll get there eventually. Looks like this guy's probably seen his last days. The operator just kind of gave up. He's not even going to bother trying to drive it away. Yeah, this base spinner, he'll be able to drive for a long time. Looks like Descara, before he really attacks too much, he's going to be filling out that third base, and as well he should. He's keeping that eco advantage quite strong. Hasn't really made any units just yet, but interceptor fabrication finishing soon. I'm sure he'll be moving into air. And I don't know, that with a player like Descara, I think he's just going to have so much map control once he gets this, especially having the eco lead, but he doesn't even... I mean, even when the game is even, you know, you feel like he's always going to get the map control and he's going for, like, airplays and stuff, and then next thing you know, you're on, like, game point with the artifacts, and you're just like, how did this happen? I feel like this is going to be pretty brutal, but we shall have to see. props to RoBeY, by the way, for like joining the tournament and being put into like the group with you know, the best players in the world, and just being like, okay, that's fine, because he went with it. He got his games played very quickly. I was happy to see it anyway. Afterburner coming out now for Descara. And he's gonna launch immediately. This is a fight that won't go his way, though. I actually like the touch of smoking there, though, because if this AV has to go back to support cruiser to heal, he's gonna be out of the fight for a while. There's no armor upgrade on those units, and mag accelerator coming out when there's only one railgun on the field too. That's probably a mistake. I said that in his game with A game as well, and I think I was right too. Not to brag, but yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like that's totally worth it. Like heavy vehicles armor 1's probably better because you still get that value in railgun fights, but you're also upgrading those armored units, which can, you know, if you have like the equal upgrades at level 1, you can pretty much fight these guys one-on-one. In the mod, mind you. In vanilla, you'd get trashed, but this ain't vanilla, is it? So. Afterburner finishes now, and these speedy boys flying all across the map here, but I think they're actually out of missiles, so they're just gonna go back home. They just wanted to scare people, really. It's an intimidation technique, right? I'd actually like to see him snipe out this probe, but people have differing opinions on that. I always do it. I don't know. Some people would say it's not worth the rocket. And I am like the worst air player in the world, so I mean maybe they know what they're talking about. Perhaps I ought to defer to their judgment there. Missile battery fabrication finishes for RoBeY now, so he's gonna have that mobile platform, and I think I would prefer it. Obviously, he's covered for anti-air now by the 2 base runners, 1 anti-air turret post, but those missile batteries I think are gonna do much better for him. He is already producing one. Railgun fabrication starting to come out now for Descara, so it's not gonna be siege, and I like that better, honestly. You know you're ahead in this case. I think railguns are just the much safer choice. Like, siege is what you would do normally if it's even. But, I don't know, funky stuff can happen sometimes. And you never know. I mean, that'd be a pretty bitter way to lose a game like this, so. Actually, Sandskimmer rating coming up from Descara too, and that's pretty interesting. That tells me he probably wants to phase out the armored units from his composition. And certainly if we were playing vanilla, I'd say who can blame you, and these things are trash. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably wise, but 3-on-2, huh? But I think, yeah, no, the AAVs do have this one. It's a little tricky with the air units in there too. You've got to be careful about that anti-air turret post, but as you would expect to see from Descara, he's really just. He just doesn't care. Although I think he's maybe going to lose one right here. Oh! Yeah, he does lose one. That was pretty close, though. I mean, you can see with Afterburner, those turret posts, their missiles are slow, man. Like, they have to chase them across the entire map before they hit them. So that guy really could have survived there, actually. First carrier production upgrade coming out now, actually, for RoBeY. I didn't realize that. And Descara, he's on 3, actually. 3 PCs. This guy accidentally ran like all the way over there, but you know. Oh no, I didn't realize this was happening. The eco's getting raided here. I think that was just like a bad smoke, but smoking's bad, kids. Except actually it's good. It just didn't work in this case. Look, just trust me. Your parents are right. Yeah, RoBeY, you know, predictably having some trouble keeping those air units from doing their damage. And this is what I was saying about Descara. I mean, he's very good at getting the map control there, and now you look at the map like all of this just belongs to him, and he's going to start extracting like it's no one's business. A little bit slower than he would in vanilla. These things do cost RUs now, but. And it's really interesting, you know, that players like Descara, who are so good at getting that map control and getting those extractions out, don't keep their early game base runner, because he could very easily already be on 1 artifact, but I guess he just prioritizes those extra resources right in the beginning. I always keep mine, you know, I always keep mine. Maybe to a fault, but obviously if I'm doing like a rush, I'll retire it, but That ALM mortar combo can be really deadly, and you just saw it take out 3 of those Sandskins right there. But this is a pretty big heavy railgun number. Now, I would be a little worried if I were Descara. Ooh, about the ALMs, right? They're not powered up enough right now. I would actually take the power out of the carrier and put it in there. Because when you power these guys up in the mod, they actually really do some damage, you know what I mean? And with those railguns being so bunched up like they were, I mean, you could really see them getting killed actually by ALMs. That was a really nice targeting jammer actually. But the numbers are just very far in Descara's favor here. And that's kind of what we would expect. I mean, first carrier production upgrade just finally came out. He's only on 2 base, so it's going to be tricky to match these railgun numbers. And that's actually without any upgrades on either side. Ooh. Well, you know. Smoke is going to wear off here pretty soon. That support cruiser's got to be dead. Oh, there actually was another one, but was not used. Artifact extraction starting to come out for Descara too, and this is really looking like a wrap. He's just going to fold in on him pretty soon. I mean, it's not going to take too much longer. There's only like 1 railgun left here. And that carrier's coming in. He's pretty hungry. Descara's army, of course, can be miles away as it gets replenished here, but I just don't think it even matters. Airburst doing a surprising amount of damage to those armored units. It's due to the fact that their health pool is a lot smaller these days. That carrier's looking for blood. It's coming in, and these railguns actually now pretty much uncontested. The other railgun over on RoBeY's camp got taken out, and he sees the writing on the wall. He's gonna GG. His carrier does a little power slide for a second, and that is gonna be the game. Like I said, what we expected, but it's still a pretty good game, I think. I don't really know exactly how Descara does it with those air units, but it feels like when they come out, he's got the field. He always does. I think we're definitely, you know, watching the best player in DOK that we've ever seen here. Although, I guess I haven't watched too many of those old games. Not enough of those old games to really know for sure, but he's just always on his form, you know what I mean? He's a deadly one. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one, whenever that may be.